Hello, everybody. Welcome back to The Way That I See It. My name is Lucy Superfox, and this is my podcast. So on this week's episode, I want to talk about being versus doing, and especially when this comes to manifestation. So what happens so much of the time is people forget that manifestation is not about forcing and trying and hustling, but it's also not about sitting on your hands doing sweet fuck all, right? Manifestation is a stepped process. It's getting really clear on what you want. It's doing the work to believe you can have it. It's making space for that creation to appear in your life, like actually giving it room. And then on top of that, once you've made the space, it's then about taking inspired action, or vice versa. They can kind of go interchangeably. And the fifth one is hold the faith and trust the process. And I did a whole reel the other day, if you haven't already seen it, on TikTok or Instagram, all about the fact that when it comes to what most people do, right? Hang on, let me reframe myself. Why most people find it hard to trust the process, right, is purely because they're not doing one of those three things. So either one, they don't actually know what they want, or they're not clear, or they want it for the wrong reasons. Two, they're not doing the work to believe they can have it. Or three, they're not actually taking any action, right? They're the three big ones. And fourth could be making space, but normally it finds a way to nudge itself in, right? Like a relationship you might have been making space for. Normally something will happen where you'll have to make room for it, right? That's a good example. So what I want to talk about today is the being and not doing. I think I see this so much of the time. People are like, oh, I know this and manifestation this and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, honey, you're doing it wrong. Because what most people forget, and this is a whole other module added to Next Level Life, and I've got a little secret for you on that, actually. I'll tell you at the end of this podcast. And in the Master Manifestation download that you can get in the shop at lucysuperfox.com/shop, in there, I've done this whole module on embodiment, right? I'm going to give you a snippet now. But there's a whole module on really how to embody that next level of life, how to embody the things that you want. So what most people think is that we get what we want. We don't. That's the biggest lie in personal development. We don't get what we want. We get what we are. So in terms of vibration, if we're talking about the law of attraction, the way that we vibrate, we don't vibrate based on our desire, right? That's a clear intention. We set a clear intention. That's like a beam, right? If you can imagine it this way, it's like a beam that goes out from us. And then we do our belief work, and that raises our energy and emotion, because we're like, oh my God, believe I can have it. That gets us excited, right? So then we've got a positive vibration. So that's like little circles. Let's call it this. We've got a beam and we've got positive circles, right? But what then happens is, that's okay, but how do you stay in that, right? And if you're watching this on video, you'll be laughing your head off, right? How do you stay like that on a daily basis, right? And the answer is you behave, act, think, become, right, the next level version of yourself. Because what happens is, and this is where it really falls into making space, right, is that it's really hard to stay thinking about just one thing 24 hours a day, right? It's really hard to stay in a high vibe positive energy 24 hours a day. Like, if that was possible for all of us, we didn't have life commitments, we didn't have other things going on, manifestation would be a piece of piss, right? But it's because other stuff happens. So the way that we stay in our intention, the way that we stay in our belief, is by embodying the thing that we want as if it's already happened. Because then what we do is we think different, we act different, we speak different, we start to see different. So I talk about this a lot in the video, but you have something called a reticular activating system, which very simply is the filter in your mind, right? It will filter for what you tell it to look for. It physically cannot process all the images, all the sounds, all the things that happen on a day-to-day basis. But what it can do is, when you tell it what to look for, so look for a red car, look for this particular Zara dress. I've got the Zara dress that everyone saw in the summer, right? Look, you'll see it freaking everywhere, right? Because that's what you told it to look for. So if you tell it to look for your goals, your dreams, the things you want, evidence of that happening, then that's what it will find. But it can't find that if you're telling it to look for 73 different things a day because you're busy. But it will find that more if you start thinking, acting, behaving, and emotionally kind of embodying what it means to be at that next level goal. So whether it's a income goal, whether it's meeting the person, whether it's a certain body goal, whether it's a new position or title, right? Ultimately, it doesn't matter what it is. The key thing is embodying what it would be like. So one of the biggest challenges I think people face with this is they go, cool, I want to earn more money, but I don't know what that feels like. Or I want to promote at work, but I don't know what that feels like. Or I want to have a sexy body, I don't know what that feels like. So how do I embody it? So the first thing that I always encourage people to do, and this is what I would encourage you to do from this podcast, this is completely free. If you don't go and do it, that's on you, right? But is actually, there's a great exercise that I've done. I'll read you mine actually. So what I did for my embodiment, because mine, although I have some specific and tangible goals for this year, right, they probably won't mean anything to a lot of you, because you're like, yeah, well, of course you're going to do that, Lou. So I've got an income goal on there. I've got a network marketing goal on there. I've got earning some trip goals on there with my network marketing business. And then I've got one about growing my podcast. I've got a goal to grow my podcast. Actually, I'll tell you that one. I'd love to grow my podcast to 1,000 followers or subscribers, either or, and then to 10,000. So if you want to give me a help out, share it on your socials, telling people what episode you love best, why you loved it, then I would love that. And then one of my other ones is to feel fit, healthy, and energized every day. So many of you don't know, I'm a celiac, I'm hypothyroid, I've had autoimmune conditions since, probably since I was born, but really discovered them when I was 25 after having toxic shock when I was 25 to when I was 26 when I'm 25. And so as a result, I don't always have the best day. I've recently found out I'm neurodivergent, so which also explains a hell of a lot. So I don't always have a perfect day. And if you look at me and think, oh, she's got it all together, she's thriving, she's smashing it, I don't all the time. Like, that's the God honest truth. But what I can tell you is that I do the work to take care of myself, right? So in my manifestation of feeling fit, healthy, and energized, number one, I've got really clear on what I want. I know what that feels like. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Number two, I've done the belief work to know I can overcome my limitations. I don't have to live in the stories of my autoimmune condition. And in fact, I was going to do a whole podcast on this. I no longer need my thyroid medication because I have worked so hard on identifying as a person who doesn't need thyroid medication. Now, look, no medical claims here. And I was always on a minor dose, but like, I have been able to transform the way my body operates. And I've transcended the beliefs that say this is a lifelong condition. So I've made space for it. I make space for the gym in my diary. I prioritize having my green gut glow in the morning, which is like a drink I have in the morning. And then I prioritize my sleep. I drink more water. In fact, I track my water now. It's the one thing I track. I don't track calories, but I do track water. And I've reduced my alcohol consumption massively because I was way over drinking last year, way over drinking. So like, that is inevitable to me. And that's an ongoing goal. That's not like a destination. If I feel fit, health, and energy one day, that doesn't mean, oh, I've nailed it, right? That's like an ongoing thing for me. But the reason I was telling you that is because I want to talk to you about how it feels. So like embodiment, what that feels like. So what I want to encourage you to think about is, let's just pick one of your goals right now and just think, as I can tell you what it might feel like to achieve your goals. So maybe you want a 10K month. I can tell you what a 10K month feels like. In fact, why don't we do a poll on Instagram? So go over to Next Level Lucy on Monday. We'll do this on Monday the 23rd of January. So they all love the date 230123. Lovely. We'll do a little poll on what you want to know how it feels like. So we'll do one for a 10K month, one for having abs, one for finding the love of your life, and we'll do one for something like that. So I'll get you guys to vote. I'll probably do it on all of them, but just give me an idea. I'll do that on Monday. So if you listen to this on Monday, go over to the stories and do that. And I'll probably carry it on through the week. And I'll tell you what it feels like to do those things. Because one, I'm in quite good shape all the time, but I have definitely had a six-pack and abs and look great. I am with the man of my dreams right now. So I've done that. I have had 10K months probably for the last 3 years and beyond that. So if you want to know more, I can tell you that on a private level. And what was the other one I said? Can't remember. But anyway, the point is, let's say it's one of those four things, right? I can tell you about the things I've embodied. So, but the way I figure out how it feels to have that thing, because not everybody's always going to tell you, right? So I'm going to tell you so that you have something to go, oh my God, that's what it's going to feel like. So you've got something to embody, right? But this is how I figure out what it's going to feel like to embody. So this is what I've put down. Who do I want to be in 2023? The kind of person who's always growing and changing. So I want to be growth-led. I want to be hungry. That's going to get me towards my goals because it's going to keep me seeking. The kind of person who wakes up with passion and purpose and intention. So that means I'm going to need to prioritize my well-being. I can't be waking up hungover. I can't be waking up having no sleep. The kind of person who's excited about their life. So I'm going to stay in gratitude, right? You're excited about things when you're grateful for them. So I know I'm going to stay in my gratitude and make sure that happens as part of a daily routine. The kind of person who meditates and sets their intention early in the morning. So there we go, my morning routine. You can start to see that's really important to me. The kind of person who trusts themselves enough to make bold moves and take big steps. So what that means is that I need to work on my self-trust. So when I'm, let's say, feeling triggered that I'm unsafe or I'm unsure of something, or I'm making safety mean, and I'm going to talk a lot about this over the coming weeks. I've got an interview with my therapist to share with you. I've got an interview with a top amazing author. Like, she is unbelievable, New York Times bestseller, on this podcast next week, but we'll see when I actually post it. But, you know, that bold moves and big steps, like that is exactly, you know, I'm going to have to do work on my self-trust to be able to do that. The reason we don't ever make bold moves and big steps is because we don't trust ourselves. There you go. The kind of person who chooses growth and the unknown over comfort and familiarity. You can see a trend here, right? The kind of person who chooses health and well-being over comfort and familiarity. So I very much fell, I talked about this on Instagram the other day, I very much fell into comfort and familiarity in 2022. And I am all about breaking that in 2023. The kind of person whose mind is stronger than their program. So you guys know that obviously I'm a personal development teacher, right? I'm a mindset coach, I'm not a therapist, right? But what I will tell you is it is possible to reprogram your mind. And look, at some points, trauma needs to be addressed, and that's where therapy and other counseling and other modalities come in. But what I can tell you is every single one of us has the capacity and the ability to reprogram ourselves. It's just the commitment to doing that. So what I want you to know is that you get to decide what it feels like to embody that person, because I've achieved some goals, but they might feel different to you at that level. Like I said, next week on Instagram, I will tell you what it's felt like in terms of emotion, energy, where it's felt in my body, that kind of thing. But I want you to do that exercise. Write down, who do I want to be in 2023? The kind of person because what that says is like subtle enough to give your brain and body the clue, but it's not like you have to be this person, right? So I just think if more people embodied what it was like at the next level, what would happen is they would stay in the manifestation process. The reason that we don't stay in the manifestation process, we don't trust the process, we lose belief, we get unsure about what we want. The reason we break all those things is because we have a life, right? It's because we're doing shit all the time, and our brain and mind and body and soul and energy get split in a million directions. So if you truly want to manifest something new, if you truly want to manifest, the life, the body, the money, the goals, whatever it is, then you are going to have to stay in the energy of the manifestation. And that is embodiment. Now, like I said, all of this is in the Master Manifestation Masterclass download bundle. You can get at lucysuperfox.com/shop. And you get everything there. So you've got 3 videos, you've got a masterclass in manifestation, you've got a masterclass in embodiment, you've got a bonus video on why meditation matters and how that breaks the program. And I talk about how that breaks the programming, which makes it easier to stay in the embodiment, and then a workbook for you to work through. And you can work through that as many times as you need, ultimately to achieve your goals and dreams this year. But as a bonus exercise, strongly recommend to stay in the energy of manifestation, doing that exercise of, who do I want to be in 2023? So make sure to check out the Master Manifestation bundle. It won't be on sale for much longer. In fact, the time of recording this, when will it be on sale till? I think till the end of Monday. Yeah, till the end of Monday, the 23rd of January, be on sale till. And then I have something exciting coming on the 28th. So yeah, stay tuned for that. There'll be an email coming out on the 28th. So if you're not already subscribed to my emails, you can go to lucysuperfox.com. It will give you a little pop-up. Or if you want to download one of the free ebooks in the shop, lucysuperfox.com/shop, then that adds you to my email list too. So you can physically get hold of any emails, deals, and offers that come straight from me. Because sometimes I only do email only. So for people who are on my email list, and there are basically what's going to be happening on the 28th is I'm going to be doing something that's like, well, cool, and you want to be part of it. So you're going to get to unlock a few different things. So I want to share that with you. So make sure you're on the email list. If you want to get hold of manifestation, you want to take control of your manifestation, you want that masterclass, it's £49 now in the shop, lucysuperfox.com/shop until the end of day 23rd of the 1st, 23. What a great day. Can't wait for it. So that was it from this week's episode. I've got some interviews coming up, which is exciting. I've got one more to share with you at the end of the month, which is a big deal for me. It's something I really want to share with you, and I know that you'll resonate with. And then after that, I've got February's a month of interviews. I'm going to call it the Self-Love series. So it's all about self-love and healing. And I'm going to be reflecting on my journey of healing over the last year, as well as bringing in some incredible people who've got a lot to say in the healing and self-love space. So I love you all very much. Have the most beautiful rest today. And that was the way that I see it.